The way we approach these challenges, it's a bit continuing on one of the first ideas. It's about resilience.
We want to approach them not from a perspective of risk, a perspective of efficiency, let's say, like continuing practices of the 20th century, trying to make them more efficient in order to make us less vulnerable to climate change.
Like considering the materials we are using, materials with high thermal inertia, approaches like having cool ventilation, direct ventilation. The way that we create shadows, the way that we create all these buffer spaces, all those intermediate spaces, this is already something that we are applying into the way we approach all our projects. We use a material with a really, really high thermal mass, that it's Rahm earth, in this case prefabricated Rahm earth blocks.
And we like to embrace this multiplicity of architecture. So it deals with climate, but it also deals with aesthetics. It deals with political purpose. It deals with ecological issues. It deals with tectonic exploration. It deals with a variety of things. In our case, it's around the area of Barcelona. And this means for us that we're not intending to do something historical in a sense of trying to reproduce something that was built here hundreds of years ago or something like that, but we're trying to operate in a way that understands the current social, economic, let's say, infrastructure, so that we're kind of reinterpreting some of these vernacular elements. We, for instance, work in a space without where you could not operate the windows. There's a space that it was only mechanically ventilated, but it did not have air conditioning. So actually, I remember there was summer heat and the office closed. People just did not go to work because it was not possible in a glass. It was a glass box without windows. So of course they need to adapt. Like it's a massive adaptation what needs to be done, and it has to happen at the scale of buildings, bringing many wisdom that comes from architecture that has been practiced for centuries in the southern latitudes.
And I think it's not only as a physical scale, it's also so public spaces are going to be rethought, because when the temperature of your exterior spaces, of your public space, it's a certain level, it's a certain temperature, while suddenly you leave these outdoor spaces in a very different way. So it's not going to be only about density, shape of buildings, shadow spaces. It's really going to be, I think, like a social approach on how those public spaces are going to be lived. If we go to, for example, Morocco, you see that there are so many public plazas, public squares that are alive through the whole night. No? Why? Because during the day, the temperature, it doesn't allow anybody to be there.
Yes, we feel we're part of an architecture that is focused with a specific context, but we don't want to get stuck with an idea of context that is only Euclidean, that it only has to do with the space. We would like to think that we work on a very specific sites, locations, but this approach to context has to do with much more. It should embrace a social idea of context, a material idea of context, topographical, geological. It should embrace the feeling of people. It should embrace a wider awareness of it.